Fantastic work there in Congress. Thank you for being out here fighting this great fight. You know, it's kind of ironic. Here we are arguing about defeating the National Guard coming to Washington. But I can remember not that long ago on January 6th, when they were attacking this building, trying to break in, and did break in. 5 police officers died, hundreds of people were injured. They were running around. Remember they had a noose out here for Pence? Remember that? Broke in, said, hey Nancy, where are you? Remember that? They have convicted 1,500 convictions. The first thing Trump does when he gets to office is pardon all of them. Shame, 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 horrible. And this is the first time, by the way, that we have a convicted felon in the White House. 34 counts. Matter of fact, since the White House is public housing, he shouldn't even be allowed to live there. He shouldn't even be allowed to live there. But he's living there, 34, and he's complaining about crime coming to D.C. He's the biggest criminal we've had in the White House ever. So let's talk about fixing the crime issues here. We've got crime challenges. When I first became a prosecutor here in Washington, D.C., it was 1990. That was the height of the crack fight. 450 to 500 homicides per year is what was going on in D.C. They called it Dodge City. Fought against that. Leadership here in Washington, D.C., under home rule, turned that around. Right. And now we've got some of the lowest crime rates in the District of Columbia, certainly in 30 years. Right? Right. That's a good thing, right? And you know why we've got it? It's not just police officers, it's intervention prevention programs. DC's been one of the national leaders in demonstrating that enforcement alone is not enough. You don't want to wait until the shot's fired and the body hits the ground. You want to get intervention prevention before the gun gets in that kid's hand, before he feels like he's got to use it, before somebody pushes him in the wrong direction. Let's see if we can reach them and move them back in the right direction. What does Trump do with that? Looks at all these cities where crime's going down because they have these intervention and prevention programs. He cuts them at the Department of Justice. One of the first things he does is cut the funding for those programs. And let's talk about guns. 79% of homicides are committed by guns. Have you heard him say anything about guns? No. So we got a bill in the House to get rid of ghost guns. 180 Democrats have co-sponsored that bill. How many Republicans support that? Zero. And I'm not even going to get to the assault weapons bill. You know, they've been fighting that for 20 years. So if you really want to fight violence and crime in D.C., guns is the first place to start. It's the last place you want to go. Under the Biden administration, they had the Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Did outstanding work, in fact, helped to fund and coordinate these programs. It's the first thing Trump got rid of when he got to the White House. He said that's got to go. So we know he's not serious about it. And one other piece, too, if you really believe we need more cops on the street, which should be a home rule decision made by the mayor and the council, why are you holding up that $1.1 billion? The money that we have.
Give us our money.
Give us our money. Give it back. Let them decide what to do with it. So we know it's a show. We know it's fake. I came down here. I've got 2 of my kids live in D.C. Well, they're not kids anymore. They're adults. I'm a grandfather now. One of my grandkids live here in D.C. So I come down here in D.C. Go to my wife. We're having dinner. We're sitting there talking to each other. And this group of camo guys, with the M4s, assault weapons, walking down the wharf. And we're sitting there, maybe an hour and a half, talking about maybe between like 35 and 40 of these guys walking around on the wharf. And the first thing I thought about was, well, if you're really worried about crime, why are you here at the wharf? Number one. Number two, why are you carrying M4s? Because if you actually had to shoot somebody with it, the bullet would keep going. It's so powerful, the bullet would go right through. You want to talk about picking off innocent civilians who don't have anything to do with it? That's not the right weapon to have. One other piece on this, too. Excessive force is a problem we've had in the United States forever. One of the things we developed, force the attention, don't just go right to the gun, other measures, pepper spray, tasers, whatever. These guys don't do that. All they have are the assault weapons and the technology. So it's either zero or everything. We need to make sure that they understand they don't want these guys on the street. They're not training you on the street. They're not going to make a difference with law enforcement. They're not going to help address crime. In fact, they're making the problems worse. So I appreciate you all being here today. We got to make sure we keep fighting, not just on this issue, but for home rule overall. Not just on home rule, but making sure you get that $1.1 billion. That we lead the charge here, because if we've got to win here to help win in Chicago, in Los Angeles, and Baltimore, and every city across the country, because we know what this plan is, right? We need to stop it here and do everything we can. So thanks so much. Keep up the great work. We're with you.